Okay, so today we're going to talk about creating and applying contracts. But before I go into detail on that, I'm just going to give you a really quick overview of Eventotron. I know you probably all have a good idea of what it is and how it works, but I'll just go through this for anyone who might not know. So Eventotron is essentially a network of over 60,000 artists now, 8,000 venues and hundreds of festival and season managers all around the world. And artists come to Eventotron to find opportunities to perform. Festivals and seasons and venues advertise their opportunities to perform on Eventotron, and venues also use it to potentially find work that they'd like to program. So yeah, as I say, it's a global network now. And the way Eventotron works is essentially we give you the tools to collect all the information that you need from events that are performing with you and venues that you're working with. And we can then push all that information out into all the different aspects of your administration and your marketing mix. So we can populate brochure templates for you. We can do things like daily diaries and indexing from the information that you've collected in Eventotron. In the same way, we can create departure boards, contracts, which we're going to look at today. We can populate websites and apps using all the information you've collected. We can create you venue passes if that's something you need. We have a new front of house tool that's integrated with our inbuilt ticketing system, Super Simple Box Office. We have a function called portals, which allows you to share information, specific information with specified user groups. So some of our clients are using that to share information with press. We can do all your settlements for you. We use an external payment processor for all of that, and the money goes directly to your account. We can do reporting. We did a webinar recently about events and reporting that's available as a recording on our website if you want to refer to that at some point. And also we, as I mentioned, have an inbuilt ticketing system, Super Simple Box Office, but we can also integrate with other ticketing systems as well. So let's get started and look at creating a contract template. So just to give you some an overview of contracting, it's an add-on feature in Eventotron. So when you set up a new festival or season, you won't see the contracts tab in your dashboards. It's a free add-on. You just need to request it to be activated. So you just need to get in touch with myself or Chris, and we can turn on that feature for you. So, okay, so here we are in my demo festival dashboard, and here's the contracts tab. You can see I've got this documents templates button here and a document footer. You can put anything you like in there, and you can add a company letterhead to go at the top of your contracts. So I'm going to create a new template here. I'm creating an artist contract template. So I'm just putting in a description of what that is. And I can base that template on a blank document, or I can choose from other contracts I might have with other festivals or seasons that I'm managing in my Eventotron account. So here we are. This is the edit template window, and you can see it auto saves with that green button up there. So I'm just going to put some information in. You'll see the save button goes green every now and then. So it's, as I say, it's auto saving, but you can also press that button as well if you need to. So as I mentioned before, any information that you've collected in your info collection forms from events can be pulled into your contracts, and similarly with what you've collected from venues. So I'm now going to put the main event main admin contact in here. So I've clicked the contacts drop down, and I've put the first name and the last name. And I'm now going to just put some more information about the show. So I'm putting that the artist agrees to perform. So I go to the show drop down and choose event title from there. And then I'm going to choose from the venue drop down the name of the venue. And now I want to put in some performance time. So I go to the special drop down. So under pre-built stuff here, you'll see there's this date that refers to today's date. So that first one in the list would pull through today's date. So I'm going to put performances from and to, I think, at this point. And I want to put in some times as well. So again, I go back to the special drop down here, and I'm going to choose the performance times. So that's my basic information that I want to collect, that I want to preview. So I now click on the edit template drop down and I choose preview with my first show in my list, which is a testing play. And you can see here it's pulled through the name of that artist behind that show and the show title, the venue it's performing at, and the dates that it's being performed on and the times. So I'm going back to edit template. And I'm just going to have a quick tidy up of some of that. And now I'm just going to add in the option to take digital signatures from both the artist or the event manager. So I go to special, signature request, and event manager. And I'm now going to also put in the festival manager signature as well, so they can countersign the agreement. So that is the season manager signature request. So we're going to preview again with a testing play. And you can see now it's created these gray boxes with print name, signature, and date in there for both of those signature requests. So now we've created our contract template. I'm now going to show you how to apply that template to an event. So I'm back in my contracts tab, and you can see here, here's my document template that I've just created. I've done a little bit of formatting, you can see. So I'll just show you how I did that. You can use any of these formatting tools up here. So you've got bullet points and numbers, and you can put in links and images, whatever you need. So yeah, I've bolded this. Right, so I'm going to preview it again with a testing play. And you can see a testing play is being performed at my lovely test theatre. If it was performing at more than one venue, you'd see a list there. So we're going to apply this contract, and I'm going to save it to the event, a testing play. So I tick that, and you can see here it's automatically brought up the main admin contact for that event email address in there. So I'm just going to pop an email in here. You can create a standard email for your contracts in the setup tab under emails. So it would pull through that email, and you wouldn't have to keep retyping it. But you can obviously you could personalize it at this point. So I'm just explaining that the event manager or the artist can come into Eventotron to digitally sign the contract. And once you've done your email, you apply the contract here. Close that off. And then just click on your contracts tab again, and you will see that contract listed under your existing contracts. We've got these options here to download that as a PDF. You can edit your contract until it's been signed, and then it won't allow you to edit it. I wouldn't advise you edit one that you've sent, obviously, but you can. And you can upload signed contracts. So if your event manager signed this offline, you could upload it and it would show that it had been signed offline. And I'm now going to add my signature. So I'm the festival or season manager in this instance. So I'm going to add my signature by clicking the sign now. I just click on the grey box and I can draw in my signature, or I can upload one, or I may have an existing signature that I've drawn in before. So just pop that in there. And there you can see it's printed my name from because this is my account to raise a test. There's my signature and the date that I signed it on. I could download that as a PDF from there as well. And you can see now it's showing that it's signed. And if I hover over the tick, you can see the signature and the date it was signed. So we're going to go into a bit more detail about the digital signatures side of things. So I'm going to show you how it looks. So this is the email that I just created. So this is what the event manager received. So you can see, obviously, your season or your festival logo always comes in at the top of your emails that you send within Eventotron. And then we've got this, the contract as a download attachment there. So that's what the event received. And then I am now here in Eventotron as the event manager. So I'm the artist in this instance, and I've logged in and I'm going to a testing play to sign my contract. Just close that. So I go to the Demo Festival 23 tab here. And you can see here are my forms for that festival. I go to Documents, and there's that artist contract that we just applied. So I can click on it as the artist and have a look there. And you can see it's got this signature required button. So I just click on the grey box in the same way and draw in my signature and hit sign. And you can see me, the artist, Tom Test. I've signed it, and I signed it on the 20th of March. And it sits in there in my documents in Eventotron, so I've always got a record of it, and I can also download it as a PDF if I want to. So now that we've looked at applying contracts to events, I'm now going to show you how you would do that if you want to apply contracts to your venues. So here we are back in the contracts tab for my festival, and you can see the event signed it there. So I've got that nice green tick. So I'm going to create a new document template because I want a different contract for my venue in this example. So I'm doing the same again, just putting in a description here. I'm not going to base it on a blank template. I'm going to base it on the artist contract that I just built, so I don't have to do all that filling in again. Just change some bits. Oops. So I'm just going to change this so that it makes sense. So again, I'm going to go to the venue drop down and choose the name of the venue there. Just make that bold. And I'm going to actually leave this information the same. So I've got the show name, the venue name, and the dates and times. And I'm just going to take the artist signature out, and I'm going to request the venue manager signature here. So again, I go to the special drop down, and under signature request, click venue manager. And you can see it's dropped that in there. And it's saving automatically. So I'm now going to preview that again. And you can see it's previewing my lovely test theatre as the venue here. for a testing play, and there it is. So I've checked that I'm happy with that, so I'm going to apply that contract and I'm going to save it to the venue in this instance. You can change the contract name at this point if you want to make it specific for that venue. And you can see, obviously, that's the venue manager's email address. Again, I'm just going to pop an email in here, but you can pre-fill these emails by entering a standardized email in the contract section in setup emails. So hit apply contract. Just hit the contracts tab again, and you can see now my lovely test theatre, the document is saved to the venue. You can see with that little attachment sign there. And you can see that it's expecting a venue signature. So now we're going to look at it from the perspective of the venue manager. So you can see how they would go in to sign that document. So they go to their venues, my lovely test theatre there. They go to Demo Festival tab, and you can see straight away it's under the intro section, and it's got that red signature required button. And again, they just hit the grey box and enter their signature. And it pre-fills their name and the date there. And they've also got that download PDF option, but exactly the same as the event manager. That contract sits there in their venue profile for your festival or season, so they can always refer to it. So it's also possible to apply a contract to both the event and the venue. So we'll just quickly look at how you would do that if you have a sort of joint contract that goes to both. So I'm back in my contracts tab. And I'm going to use my artist's contract for this example. And I've also already pre-filled the venue signature in there. So I've just popped that in as well. And then again, you just hit the edit template, and I'm previewing it with a different show. So this is Fake Test the Musical. So you just tick both save to event and save to venue. Obviously, you can enter emails into those boxes. And then you hit apply contract. Close that. Hit the contract tab again, and you can see now they're both in bold. They've both got this document saved to event and document saved to venue attachment, and they've both got little crosses waiting for signatures there. So that's the way you would apply a contract to both the event and the venue. So I'm going to show you some more field options now, just so you've got a good idea of all the things that you can do in terms of adding information into your contract. So I'm in a different festival, just so I've got a bit more information to play with in here. So this is my example festival, and this is my artist contract in example festival. So I just want to put in the performance dates and times. So I go to the special drop down again. And again, under pre-built stuff, I'm going to show you what it looks like if you add a performance list. It's quite a useful one to see. And just as an example, I'm going to show the gross potential, which would show what this play would make if they sold all their tickets. So pop that in too. As I say, that's under the special, but there are other options under here. So if you take payments through Eventotron, you can pull in information from your payments. Contacts, again, I've got more information in this festival. So I asked for company information in this festival, so I could pull in all sorts of information about the company. I'm going to pull in my event main admin contact again, first name and last name. Just pop that down a line. But as I say, all the contact information is in this contacts drop down. So if you've got a secondary event manager contact, or if you've got a marketing contact, and also the venue main admin contact is in there as well. So just useful to know that. So I'm going to preview this template with my Fake Test the Musical. And so there you can see what a performance list looks like. It's listing the times and all the dates and duration and the venue. And then it's pulling the gross potential for that show at that venue. And it's just pulling the event main admin contact there. And we've got the company information underneath. This is at 2 different venues, this show. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like at the other venue. So there you go. That's pulling that information for that venue. It's a lower gross potential. It's a smaller venue, I think. Different ticket prices. So that's just to give you a bit more detail on what you can pull in using that special drop down. So you can do reporting on your contracts, which is obviously useful so that you can check which contracts you still need to apply or where you're still waiting for signatures. So I'm back in my example festival here in the contracts tab. And you can see here, obviously, I've got a few more contracts to look at. So I can see where they've been applied, as we've mentioned before. So that one's been applied to a venue. And I can see what I'm still waiting for in terms of signatures. And this one's been signed offline. So that contract will have been uploaded once it had been signed by the event manager. So you as the festival manager can upload it there. So you've got a record that it's been signed offline. You can filter your contracts, just very similar to the way that you filter events or venues. So you can just pop a name of the contract or the show or the venue in there and it'll filter down. But to do proper reporting, I'm going to go to my events tab. So I'm in my events tab and I click on event fields to include, and I've got this option right at the bottom here, contracts and documents. So I'm going to tick both my contracts because I want to see what's happening with both of them, and I hit go. And now you can see I've got a report which shows me where I'm still waiting for signatures. So that says awaiting event manager signature. As does that, and you can see this one hasn't actually been assigned to a venue yet, so it's got empty brackets there. Yeah, so it's just really handy to be able to see where you're missing signatures or where you haven't actually applied a contract yet. And then just to give you a bit more detail on that, you can also sort it down even further by hitting the top of the column here, and then you see it sorts it so that all those uncontracted shows are at the bottom. You can also click on the cell itself and look at the actual contract, which is just helpful to know. So just to conclude the webinar, I'm going to give you my top tip, which is if you have an existing contract, you know, a PDF document or a Word document with your existing contract in it, the best way to copy that into Eventotron is to copy it first into a text editor. So on a Mac, that application is called Text Edit, and in Windows, I think it's called Notepad. So I'll just show you quickly what I mean. So I've got just a standard agreement here that I'm in Word that I'm copying. So I just highlight and copy it in Word, and then I've got my Text Edit app open here. So I'm just copying and pasting it into Text Edit. So you can see it looks a bit odd in Text Edit. So then I highlight it again, copy. And now I'm in Eventotron, and I'm just going to quickly create a test template just to show you what this looks like. And so I'm going to paste, and you can see there it copies across formatted correctly. If you copy straight from a Word document or straight from a PDF into Eventotron, you might find that the formatting's a bit weird, and that can be frustrating. So I just wanted to give you that, that tip. I hope that's helpful. So that's it. I've covered everything I wanted to talk about this morning. If anyone's got any questions, now would be a good time.